Hey everyone, it's Feedy here. I hope all of those who celebrated Thanksgiving had a nice time with their families. December is rolling around, weather is shitty. COVID has decided to give us a new update, which means that we can look forward to another lockdown during the winter, which is just great. I had a hard week at work. I'm looking forward to a bunch of night shifts, which is nice. So I figured, with everyone being down, the stock market crashing because of the new COVID variant, everyone just being doom and gloom again, I figured it's time for another sad boy video because I'm also tired as fuck. And so for once, we'll look at the positive things and the lessons we learned from this ongoing pandemic. At the end, I'll share what I've learned from all of this, and I'd really appreciate it if you post in your comments down below what you've learned through this ordeal. So, let's get going. So, the title of this thread on r/AskReddit is, what did this pandemic make you realize? Let's start off by this user saying, my 40-hour-a-week job can be done in about 8. Hey dude, in all seriousness, if they pay you for 40 hours and you don't have to do overtime, and as a matter of fact you can do less time, just play the system for all of us who do have a lot of overtime. People with disabilities can actually make a living by working remotely. Just that companies were too hard-headed to make jobs remote pre-COVID. Or that they were too hard-headed to pay for renovations or more handicap-friendly spaces. A cheers goes out to all my disabled brethren and sisters for making a killing out there. Really proud of you. How quickly you can get fat when you're in your mid-30s and the gym shuts down and you decide to take up baking as a hobby. Man, am I still happy that the gyms are open where I live. It's not only just about the body weight or the appearance, it's about getting out there and actually doing something with your energy, no matter how tired you are from work, especially if you do home office. For me, it's not so much about the body anymore. I know I've gained a bunch of pounds over the pandemic, and I've started working my first job, so of course, you're gonna gain some weight if it's stressful. But seriously, just getting out there and working out and being in a gym with people, even with restrictions, just means so much to my mental health. I can't imagine them shutting down again. It makes me really sad just thinking about it. How really bad off a lot of people are in terms of finances and how ignorant I am. I knew people were struggling, but I didn't realize just how badly even 2 or 3 months of not working affects the average person. I knew some parents depended on school to provide meals, but I didn't realize the sheer amount. The pandemic forced me to take stock of my savings and finances, more so than I ever have. It was a brutal wake-up call and made me feel both blessed and insecure, and also very blind. Yeah, I agree with this. It's crazy to think how many people live from paycheck to paycheck, especially if you're in debt. I think the biggest mistake that my parents taught me not to do was to spend all my money from my first paycheck immediately and not save up any of it. So yeah, if of course you live paycheck to paycheck but don't save up anything, or you're not able to save up anything because you earn a low wage, then yeah, it's gonna be a problem when hard times hit. That besides medical workers, it's the grunts that are essential. We gas station workers, custodians, delivery drivers, trashmen, etc. didn't get a day off or the ability to work from home. We got up every day and stepped over and around people making more than us to stay in their jammies. Wah! Yes, I'm a little whiny about it because there was no incentive for going. Not that I think there should have been, but it was sometimes demoralizing. I mean, this just speaks to the pervasive culture that society thinks that college graduates are inherently more worth to society because they've graduated college or university, which isn't true. I know plenty of college graduates with useless degrees, and I know plenty of people who are tradesmen or women who actually do good stuff but don't get the recognition they deserve. So good on you for staying true to the roots, and don't ever feel worse because you didn't go to college. You are doing essential work, and I thank you for it. I like the quarantine lifestyle more than I should. Ooh, that hits home, but more on that later. But yeah, I can agree with this. That I don't want to work anymore, and a lot of people around me are thinking the same. Someone replies, I don't want to work this hard, so I might have 10 years or retirement at the end of my life. I think about taking a BS job with health insurance, even if it is a giant pay cut. Honestly, USA, what's going on? I look towards you and I see that the labor market is crashing, guys. If anyone can illuminate me as to why, I was planning to do a video about it. But I'm really wondering if most people are waking up to the fact that most jobs, especially office jobs, are soul-crushingly bullshit, and it makes me kind of happy. I hope you guys are doing okay mentally, though. That I wasn't the weirdo for working remotely pre-pandemic. I can't tell you how many people told me it was crazy that I worked remotely for a company in San Francisco or London, while living in Texas. Most of them said, oh, I would get bored if I worked from home all the time. Now people are like, I'll literally quit if I ever have to set foot in an office again. I'm glad workers are feeling more control over their lives lately. I just hope it keeps up. I remember this was in 2019. I was traveling through Thailand and I met this American guy who was working as a programmer remotely for an American company. And he was just traveling around Southeast Asia, moving places, seeing new things, while still working during the day and making some good money and living like a king with his American salary. And back then I already thought to myself that this man is living the dream. Traveling, seeing the world and getting good money. That would be perfect. This man, he was ahead of his time. We were never in this together. Yeah, truer words have never been spoken. All of you remember those cringy celebrity videos with Gal Gadot singing Imagine There's No Heaven while people are literally dying on ICUs? Or Madonna talking about the pandemic being the great equalizer while she's taking a bath in almond milk and orphan tears or whatever the fuck she uses to stay wrinkly. Celebrities are so wholly cringe. I really hope they stop being relevant after this pandemic, please. That I am mentally ill to an extent that I cannot function normally, and I was using interactions with others to unhealthily conceal that fact. Now I'm in therapy, medicated, and still in a 12-foot deep hole in academic work, but on track to be a functioning member of society. Oh yeah, for sure this pandemic has made us realize or exacerbated the underlying mental issues we already had. Certainly for me. I used this pandemic to start therapy, as I said in a video before, and it's probably been one of the best decisions in my life, and I can only recommend that. And all of you who do struggle with mental issues that have been made worse by this pandemic, don't be afraid to get help. Please. How much I appreciate the company of good friends. Amen to that. You know who you are when I'm talking about you, but these 2 years, specifically that last year for me, has been the hardest year of my life. And without these people in my life, I would never have made it. And I really want to sincerely thank you. I know you're listening right now, and I appreciate it. And I just wanted to say that all of you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have reached the very end of this video where I will share what this pandemic has taught me, personally. Now, of course, this might not apply to everyone, but this is my personal experience. And it has taught me two very important things. Let's start off with a light one, which is how much money and time you actually spent on going out. Right? Beers, club fees, Ubers, taxis, whatever. How much money did I spend just shoving down overpriced drinks at some random bars with random people that I really didn't care about? Of course, not to minimize the good times you had with your friends, but usually I used to go out 2 to 3 times a week, and most of the times 2 of those were pretty unnecessary and pretty bad for my wallet, and thanks to the pandemic I've actually managed to save up a lot of money by not going out, so yeah. Secondly, and this one is more deep, the pandemic has taught me which of those in my immediate surroundings, my friends, my family, my work colleagues, or my uni colleagues, are really the people that I care about and that care about me. And at the end of the day, it is only a handful of people. It cannot be everyone, because if you're a friend to all, you're a friend to none. A wise Greek philosopher, I forgot the name, once said. When I was sick with COVID myself, and luckily it was a pretty mild version of it, I knew who would text me or who would even bring me food or who counted on me getting better again. Distance doesn't kill friendships, right? The distance that you have because people are in quarantine or because you can't see them, right? It's indifference. And now I really know who to appreciate in my immediate circle. And that's what I've learned from this pandemic. And if you've got some lessons yourself that you want to share in the comments below, feel free to do so. I am genuinely curious what you guys have taken from this horrible, horrible situation we've been in for almost 2 years now. So yeah, that's it for the video. No usual outro. I love all of you from the bottom of my heart, all those who are listening in these difficult times and spend your time listening to an idiot like me. I love you dearly, and I hope you stay safe during this pandemic. And see you soon.